now day 22 of our tour, and we are back on the Queen Mary 2. We'll be on this ship until day 27, when we will arrive in Southampton and have a short tour, half-day walking tour of a small town called Winchester, before we then go back to the dock and board the Queen Anne. The tasks of running a ship never stop and the work continues. We also got to see the chef's parade. There are 144 chefs on board this ship and they turn out 15,000 meals a day. We've both been feeling a little unwell, and so not having to get off the ship and do tours has been something of a bonus. Now day 26 and we are both feeling better, and finally the weather has cleared enough for us to walk around the deck. I had my 7th whale sighting this morning. It's really exciting when you look out and see a whale blow, and then in the distance you can just see the whale surfacing. Primary among the sights that we saw, of course, was Winchester Cathedral. And after walking around, we found ourselves in the town high street. We bought a Cornish pasty and realised that we'd sat at the same cafe and bought pasties last time we were here in Winchester. And you know what? They still taste just as good. After a short coach ride back to the port, we were soon on the Queen Anne. This lovely ship was commissioned last year in 2024 and is literally streets ahead of the other 3 queens. first port of call was Belfast, and having been here before, we didn't think there was a lot to see, but we did a tour of the City Hall, which was a marvellous old building, and we had a wander around the streets. Being Sunday morning, it was very quiet and a lot of things were closed, but we went down some narrow alleys and found some hidden pubs. After Belfast, it was back on the ship for a couple of nights as we headed north into the Arctic to Iceland and the Icelandic capital of Reykjavik. We had a 2-day stopover in Reykjavik, so our first day was taken up with the hop-on hop-off bus, where we got a tour of the city and got to see some of the architecture and get a feel for the city. Thankfully, we were visiting in summer, because in winter there's only 3 hours of daylight and 21 hours of darkness for months at a time. The two most outstanding buildings are the Landsbanken building, made entirely of glass and basalt, and the newly finished Harper Concert Hall. Day 2 in Reykjavik saw us travel 50 kilometres outside the city to the Blue Lagoon, a geothermal area that has been developed as a relaxation and swimming area. We soon realised that Iceland is just entirely volcanic, having had 11 different eruptions in the last 4 years. I don't know how people live here with the constant threat. Once inside the complex, and having disrobed in a communal changing room, we got to enter the Blue Lagoon. The water sits at a balmy 34 degrees, and that's just glorious when the external temperature is around 5 degrees. We left Reykjavik last night and sailed northwest to the small town of Ísafjörður. The town is one of the largest in the north and west fjords, although it still only has about 7,000 people, so it's quite small and easy to walk around. The old town has a small cluster of wooden buildings built by fishing merchants in the 18th and 19th century. However, for us, the most fascinating thing was the local people kayaking, swimming and tube riding behind boats in the icy water, while we stood on the shore, all rugged up in our winter gear. It wasn't long and we were back on the ship and headed for our next port of call, Akureyri. 6 a.m. in the morning, sailing into Akureyri. From Akureyri, we took a guided tour of some of the locations in which the Game of Thrones had been filmed. To climb down into the tiny lava cave where John and Ygritte had their dalliance. Did I climb down there? Hell no. And so we say farewell to Iceland and head for our next stop, which is Stornoway in Scotland. Stornoway is situated on the Isle of Lewis. We did a day trip called Breathtaking Harris, which is its partner island, and it actually isn't another island at all. It's just separated by a creek and a geographical boundary. Anyway, this is Breathtaking Harris. I stopped and chatted to a young family camping in a tent, and I said, "Excuse me, but how do you keep warm?" And he looked at me and said, "We've got an air mattress and a ground sheet. It is summer, you know." Who like to be beside the sea? We're sitting eating our $25 sandwich and Coke.
Coffee
Oh, sorry, sandwich and coffee
from Salisbury.
from Sainsbury's.
Sainsbury's. Get used to it now, like the cheap food.
We'd been to London before and seen all the sights, so day 2 was spent hitting the shops, and of course that had to start at Harrods. Day 42 of our trip saw us on a Portugal Air flight to Lisbon with a short stopover and a final destination in Barcelona, Spain. In Barcelona we would board the Queen Victoria for the last leg of our journey.